Hey guys, today is our last game collection video, but it's also the biggest one we have so far, just to let you guys know. Now, the games are in alphabetical order. Most of them are in their original cases except a few of them. But right now, I'm going to do the ones without the cases, or the loose ones I should say. But we got Destiny, which is an online multiplayer game that hardly anybody plays anymore. Grand Theft Auto 5, which you play as Miko, and basically you gotta do stuff for your cousin and everything else. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is like any other one. You gotta run shooting people. Haze is a game about you finding out that you're killing people with your teammates, but the people had did nothing. But then they have this liquid stuff that's kind of controlling you in a way, and you get free from that. Untold Legends Dark Kingdom, which is just an RPG. That's all I know about it. And that's all the ones without the cases. But before I go on to the games, we do have a PlayStation Motion Eye in the camera, or whatever, with the stick. And I had to get the little joystick one, the control one, so I can have that. But in this game, it's got the things and everything else, plus a demo thing for the Motion Eye. It's got Spider-Man and stuff like that, whatever can have the motion. But I actually like the demo for the Unfinished Swan. But I never played it. So, I played the demo, but I want to get the full game so I can see more about it. And that's all for the motion stuff. I'll move those to the side because there's a lot of games coming along. Okay, first up we have 007. I don't know how to say that.
Quantum Solace.
Which is, I don't know much about it because Loner was the one that played it, so he should explain it.
It's kind of like the one for the GameCube, but yeah, 3D. You get all these like neat guns, but most of them has silencers on it. You can go like just go in there blazing guns or just go silently in there. It's not too hard as long as you're quiet.
Well, he knows more than I do because he played it. But Angry Birds Star Wars. Now this game is just like the Angry Birds mobile game. You know, you play as the birds and break stuff and everything else. But this one's the Star Wars one. But it says only on PlayStation. But I think it's because of the motion. But, you know. Assassin's Creed Revelation, the Signature Edition. Which it says about the movie. But what you gotta do, you gotta download the movie. Which you just put the disc in and just download it. And I don't really play any... I haven't really played any of these, so I don't know much about them. You know anything about this one?
Well, it's just like a parkour assassin game. That's all I can say.
That's what I can say about the next one, too. Assassin's Creed 3. Which is just like what he said. But they take time in different timelines and stuff like that. That's all I know about it. But it says only on PlayStation 3, but it's got just levels on it. That's why it's different. Battlefield 3 Limited Edition. Don't know much about Battlefield 3 except I thought this one was a better one. That's all I can tell you about it. This one doesn't got it covered, but it's called Battlefield Bad Company 2. Which it's a Battlefield game that I know you can drive vehicles in. And that's the only thing I like about it. Where you can drive the vehicles. Going to hit you with 3 games altogether. Batman Arkham Asylum. Batman Arkham City. And Batman Arkham Origins. Batman Arkham Asylum involves Joker really taking over the asylum and letting all the villains out. Then you have to go your way through it to catch Joker. See, Batman Arkham City is about Joker, and he contaminates himself, which it's with Titan, which Bane has, and then it ends up like killing him slowly. But a sad thing about the end, it's a spoiler, Joker dies. Okay, Batman Arkham Origins is about I forgot who was it, Black Mask or something like that, and he sends assassins after you, which is like an assassin's game for them, but you have to fight them off and try to survive, but they're all trying to kill you because of a bounty. Ben 10 Omniverse involves you playing as Ben and Rook from the Ben 10 Omniverse, which you do go back in time on here and meet the younger Ben, and you can upgrade your aliens and everything else, which it's actually decent. To me, this is a game you should get and try out, which they do have a movie for, is Beowulf, the video game, which if you don't know anything about Beowulf, Beowulf is a guy that's supposed to have that's like Kratos in a way, without the swords and everything else, and he can kill monsters with his bare hands since he's so skilled.
And he's not a god.
Yeah, and he's not a god.
Plus, he can use almost any weapon, so...
Yeah. Bioshock Infinite and Bioshock 2. Well, this one's the one that came with the original Bioshock, which you have to download it onto the system, which involves you ending up into this like sky place, and then you have to get your way out of it and stuff like that, while trying to survive from robots and soldiers and everything else like that. Bioshock 2 involves you playing as Big Daddy, and you got to take care of the little girls that you can find and everything else, and you can go like different paths where you can kill the little girls, save the little girls, kill the people, or save the people. But I went all the way good, so I saved the little girls and spared all the people, which that's actually a fun game. Borderlands 2, if you can't see it, I'll turn to the side, which involves you can pick these 4 characters on the back to play. But if you have money, you can buy like special closings and stuff like that. But it involves you being on a train, and the train ends up blowing up from a guy called Handsome Jack. I think it was his name. Yeah, his name was Handsome Jack, and he tried to kill you and everything else to stop you from stopping him do something. But we started playing this game, so just to let you know. Bulletstorm involves a guy that kind of looks like Wolverine in a way, and what you do, you got to help your friend, which one of them turns halfway into a robot, and you're trying to help him not get taken over by the robot half. Plus, you're set up for a killing or whatever like that. You think you're killing a guy that did so much crimes, but happen to find out it's this girl's dad. So that's actually fun to know. A game that everybody knows and hate/likes. Dark Souls. Dark Souls is a hard, like, run around game, trying to kill enemies and everything else and progress. But there is checkpoints, and the checkpoints are really hard to get to, and defeating the enemies are too. So this one, the cover was on the inside of it. It's called Dead Rising 2, Off the Records, which is like the DLC for Dead Rising 2, but you're playing as Frank West in the zombie apocalypse. But it's basically the same story mode for Dead Rising 2, except you get to play as Frank West. Let's get all 3 of these out. So there's Dead Space, Dead Space 2, and Dead Space 3. Dead Space is a space horror game series, really. involves you going outer space in all 3 different times, which this one's like the first time you come across the aliens, and you get your powers and everything else like that. Which a lot of these do have good jump scares in it. I should know. But they do have a Dead Space movie, and I'd like to find it one day so I could watch it. Dead Space 2 involves you being on a... It was a... like space mall in a way, I should say. And you go through a daycare, happen to find out the baby's getting, like, turning into these aliens and everything else. And there's jump scares in that one. This one took me a while to find, Dead Space 3, but involves you playing as him on a frozen island. This one says limited edition on it too. But it involves you playing on a frozen island, well, I should say planet, and you're trying to like help people and stuff like that that's from your ship after they crash. There's another 3 at once. Dead Island. Dead Island Riptide Special Edition. And Escape Dead Island. Dead Island involves you being at a park and that a zombie apocalypse breaks out. And you can go through here. Their characters got special abilities, what they got. But you actually drive vehicles, which takes place in like the city and like countryside. Dead Island Riptide Special Edition, and it's got 1 extra character onto it, so there's 5 different characters you can choose from. But this one takes basically place around the jungle part, basically, and little like water villages. And I can't remember anything else really. Escape Dead Island involves you basically finding out how the zombie apocalypse broke out. That's all I can say. Which it doesn't give much explanation either for it. Let me set those up there. I set those wrong. And the last one is Dishonored, which if you played the second one, you know that you can get powers and everything else in this. But this had an Elder Scroll Online thing with it. I don't know why it's in there. And some about Doom 3. But it involves you getting powers and everything else, and you're set up for a murder you didn't commit. And that's our first stack. We got Disney Infinity 2.0 and Disney Infinity 3.0, which, you know, you can customize your own worlds and everything else in this game. But it involves characters from the 2.0 and the 1.0 if you can get them. But the 3.0 is the newer one with the Star Wars characters in them. Yeah, the 2.0 one involves Marvels, and this one involves Star Wars. And we do got some Star Wars, we do got some Disney Infinity characters, but we're on a time crunch and we're trying to get these done. Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2 involves you playing in the Dragon Ball series. Plus there is the remake of Dragon Ball Plan to Exterminate the Super Saiyans. You can see it there. But it is a decent movie, but it's in Japanese. There's not an English version of it. But you actually unlock like a huge roster of Dragon Ball characters in this. Even from the movie. After you watch the movie, I think you get this guy. Duck Dynasty for the PS3. If you guys are wondering why I got Duck Dynasty for the PS3, it's because I saw it. It was cheap, and I wanted to get it. Because I watched the Duck Dynasty series. Which you play as Willie's son on here. And you go around doing tasks and everything else. And here's some cheat codes to unlock stuff. But they do work. But you play as Willie's son and go around collecting frogs for like side quests and stuff like that. And it plays like an episode of Duck Dynasty, except you're just running around doing stuff. Which it does take place around the forest where they live at. And the their shipping place or whatever. Driver San Francisco involves you being a guy that gets in an accident, and then you got the power to switch minds with people and cars and stuff like that, and drive them around. Which is a fun game, but I haven't got too far in it because the missions are too hard to do. And it's really fun. You get to switch between different cars, see how they work, and everything else. Duke Nukem Forever, which is a game about Duke Nukem, which is just like a ripoff of Halo. But this one's just like a funny version of it, which we just started playing this game. And it's really fun for now. This is the one where you get to pick the turd up too and throw it around, just to let you guys know. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. Fallout 3 involves you escaping out of your vault and finding out what it's like on the outside world because your dad ends up leaving the vault and you go find him. Fallout New Vegas involves you trying to carry something like you have like a card like thing and you got to take it to this guy, but then he ends up shooting you because you was gonna do something with it. I can't remember what.
He was gonna use it to take over like this big city on there.
Yeah, take over really Las Vegas with his robots. Far Cry 3 GameStop Edition, which it involves you and a friends like out on a party, like it involves you and your friends partying and stuff like that, and then you end up getting kidnapped by this pirate, which you end up killing him and everything else, which is really satisfying, but not too satisfying. You just shove a knife into his chest and that's all. But I like running around on there and playing around and stuff like that. Fear is just like it's basically like an army game, but like a horror version because this little girl keeps popping up everywhere and it scared me so much one time. Final Fantasy 13, which I don't know much about this game because I didn't play it yet and everything else. But I don't know if Loner can explain much to you neither.
I'll tell you one thing, it's really hard when you get to the bosses.
Yeah. And we did not pay no $14 for it, just to let you guys know.
I paid $5.
Yeah. Ghost Recon 2, I guess it's what it's called. Or no, it's called Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2. Which it's like an army game, you run around killing people. Like any other one. But you can use your little vehicle-like things, or like little robots, and go around and scope out the area to make sure there ain't no enemies close by. God of War 3 involves you really hunting for a girl named Pandora. And you fight Hades as like the first boss you fight. And I haven't completed this one yet because there's a little scratch on it and it stops it there and it just keeps loading, so it just sits there and it loads. Grand Theft Auto 5, everybody knows about. You know, you play as Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. And then you all get like in bank heists and stuff like that. But there is the map of all Los Santos and Blaine County. But there's two sides of this map. There's like, you know, it's like a huge map, bigger than what I can show you. But it's like one way, and then just of Los Santos on one side. Really just like what the map is like nowadays. And now I have to put this all up. And if you guys want to play with me, I'll try to leave my PlayStation pin thing in the description below if you want to play the PlayStation 3. Guitar Hero 5 involves a bunch of classic rock music and everything else. And I happened to got this game and then like three other ones, and the whole Guitar Hero set for like $5 at a yard sale once because the people said that they had it in their basement and they just wanted to get rid of it. So we bought the whole thing, the whole set, 2 guitars, the drum, the mic, and like 4 games for like 5. Hitman Absolution, which involves you playing as Agent 47, and I think this one involves like you have to go save a little girl, like a teenage girl, because you killed her mom or something like that, and then you regretted it. I think it's what that one was about. Homefront. It's an another army game that Loner likes playing, and his favorite thing dies in it.
He died, and I was the one that killed him.
It was a robot, just to let y'all know. Infamous 2. It says includes beta for Uncharted 3, but got that. Infamous involves you playing as... I forgot his name. But you can choose to be good or bad. And that's what actually is fun about it. When you get to choose if you want to be a good guy or a bad guy. So you can see how the difference, what different it is. Injustice: Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition. This game involves characters through the DC universe, not all of them, but some of them. But through the story mode, you get took into this another world, or realm, I should say, and you have to stop evil Superman because he just keeps killing people. Just Cause 2 is like really in a way like a 3D version of Far Cry, but you got a grappling hook in this, and that's what makes it fun. But you have to kill like 2 major guys in it. But you can take vehicles, put vehicles together, and grapple them around. Killer is Dead. Killer is Dead is about you being like a half robot and half person, and that you're actually, it's one of those slashing games where you run around with your sword and you got a gun and everything else. It's actually funny and like cartoonish in a way. So if you ever come across this game, you need to pick this one up so you can play it and see how good it is. Jimmy Johnson's Anything with an Engine. This game is just like Mario Kart, but with like vehicles that you could actually make yourself if you wanted to. Like a toilet, a seat, a lawnmower. And that's just some of the things that it shows you. But you can actually get a concrete roller and stuff like that and race them around. They made a remake of this, but it's Eleanor, or Eleanor, like how I say it. But it involves you being a cop or a detective. You go around solving mysteries and stuff like that, like in a Grand Theft Auto 5 way, which is really fun, but you gotta watch out for the naked women. That's the worst part about it, when somebody walks in when you're looking at a dead body like that. And that's our second stack. You try to get the third one here without knocking them over. Try to see about this. Okay, yeah. Lego Batman 3, Beyond Gotham. I actually like this one, but there's like a huge rosters of characters, and we don't have them all and everything else.
We're missing 17.
Yeah.
I think.
But the story mode is about that this guy here, I don't know who he is, it's like right there.
His name's Brainiac.
Yeah. And he's trying to take over the world, and he's got shrinking powers and everything. There's like there's like over 200, I think, characters in this game. But it's really fun and everything else. And those are when the people started talking in it, and I like the ones where people talk in them. Lego The Lord of the Rings. This one involves you playing through like the story mode of Lord of the Rings, which they do have the movie with it. If you get this one, it has the movie with it. And it's actually really fun, but you gotta run to each place to get to it. You have to actually walk. Lego Dimensions. It's about a game where a bunch of characters get together in one game, but you have to individually buy the characters. Or if you buy it at the box, like not open, you get Gandalf, I forgot her name, and Batman. Lego Marvel's Avengers. Which, this is like, you play as the characters and stuff like that. Stan Lee is in this game, just to let you know. And there's like a big roster of characters in this too. But they've got voice acting, and you play like through some of like movies that they've been in and everything else like that. But I don't know which one's the newest movie in it. Little Big Planet Game of the Year Edition and Little Big Planet 2. I forgot what you're doing in this game, but this is like when they first came out with it and everything else. I mean, really this is the second thing that they made when it came out. Let's try to see about it, but I can't remember much about that, but you get to collect like costumes and stuff like that. Little Big Planet 2 is about, it looks like a vacuum cleaner monster, and you get costumes and stuff like that. But if you have the first game and if you get certain costumes in it, you get it on the second game and everything, and you can actually play as certain characters from and through it. Lost Planet Extreme, I don't know how to say that one, Condentation or something like that, and Lost Planet 2. Lost Planet, this one's kind of like wonky in a way, like the controlling and everything. But I think what happens that you find out that these aliens have this like stuff in it that you can use to survive with, and then you get attacked by a bunch of them, and you get separated from your dad, or your dad dies, or something like that. Lost Planet 2 involves, I think, like sometime after that, but this one's got multiplayer on it. So sometimes we will play this on multiplayer and everything else. And I don't know much about the story mode on this one.
There's not really much of a story mode. It's just that you and whoever else you got together was going to destroy the main alien creature.
Yeah. Mafia 2, which there's a Mafia 3, but I don't got a PS4, so I can't get the fourth one. But it involves you being like, you go to prison, you have to fight the war, which is like really short. It's just like if you play fast enough, like 10 minutes. But then it's like you can go around and everything after that. You can pick lock cars. But the thing about Mafia, that it's like real life, and your gas will actually run out if you don't watch it. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, which it's the Walmart edition one, so it did come with the bonus disc. Oh, that is the soundtrack, and I've listened to it, or somewhat of it, which involves you being Raiden from like the Metal Gear series, and then the president gets killed in it, or the mayor or something like that, and then
No,
you have
he was the president.
yeah, it was the president, and you have to go and save him. But there is downloadable contents for it that's free, that you can play as the dog. And like the skinny guy, there's like another guy you can play as on here, and I've actually played through those. Midnight Club Los Angeles Complete Edition, which involves you racing around Los Angeles, and you can buy cars and stuff like that and race them around and everything else. But I haven't got too far in this game because I don't know why. Minecraft, you build anything you want. That's all I should say about it. Yeah, my brother wrote this down because he couldn't remember how to make a portal, so he wrote that down.
Well, I was little when I wrote it down, so.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat, which this is the one with Kratos. But you play through the story mode, Shao Kahn is like trying to really take over the realms and everything else. But there is Mortal Kombat movies, and I do have one of them. But um, that's all I can tell you about. You know, blood, guts, rip out each other's hearts and stuff like that. Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, which is just a crossover of Mortal Kombat and the DC characters, where they don't know who's good and who's bad. Nailed is an extremely fast ATV four-wheeler racing game, I should say. That's all I should say. Naruto Ultimate Storm G, which is Generation, I think. I don't know, it's something like that. But the only thing I know in this game, you play as Naruto characters. There's a story mode and everything else, but I can't remember much. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and Need for Speed Rivals. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I don't know much about it because Loner was the one that was playing it.
You play as a cop, and then there's basically like the street racers. And the higher level you get, the more cars you unlock.
The Need for Speed Rivals is just like the same exact thing. You play as a cop or the racer, so you play as either one. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale is just a ripoff of Smash Bros. But I think it's really neat that they brought like all these old PlayStation characters together and stuff like that, so they can all have like a game for themselves. Which they should come out with the second one, really, because there's more things being added on to the PlayStation only things. PlayStation Move Heroes, which you do have to have this to play, I think. But what it's about Jack, Ratchet, and Sly all put together in one game, and you have to try to make it out by using the moves, which it says enhance your gaming with the PlayStation Move navigation controller, and that's why I got it for. Puppeteer. It's just like a little kid's game in a way, but it's still like neat and it's hard in a way. But you're playing as this little kid. You end up losing your head, but then you collect these other heads that will give you like different powers and stuff like that to help you through the levels and collect stuff. Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, which this is just a DLC for this. In Red Dead Redemption, it involves you playing as John Marston, and you got to go through the Wild Wild West and stuff like that. But this one came with the map. I was one of the lucky ones that got the map. Which this is like a big map like the GTA 5 one I showed. But you can collect deer skins and stuff like that, and everything else to get money and everything. This one involves you being John Marston again, about the zombie apocalypse happening. But you end up like dying, something like that, like halfway through the game, something like that, and you come back from the dead. Okay. Risen 2 Dark Waters. It's like an open world Pirates of the Caribbean game, but we didn't get too far in this game.
It's too hard. The monkeys kill you in like 5 hits.
It's kind of like Dark Souls in a way. That's what I should say. Rock Band 2, and Rock Band Volume Pack 2. Couldn't read that right. Now, you know, Rock Bands is just the same thing like Guitar Hero. You play classic rock songs and stuff like that, and try to get 100% or whatever like that. But I ain't too good at them. I have to keep playing on easy. Besides, I think it's neat how they try to teach you how to play guitar when you're doing Guitar Hero and Rock Band. But, you know, AC/DC Live Rock Band Track Pack, which is just a collection of the game's music from AC/DC put into like a game. Saints Row 2, Saints Row the Third, Saints Row 4, Saints Row Get Out of Hell. Saints Row 2 is just like Grand Theft Auto in a way, but it's a wacky one where you can customize your character in a way. But this one involves you being in jail, like the first part, and you can make your character any way you want it. If you want to make him fat, short hair, beard, with weird looking arms, you can do that in this game. Saints Row the Third involves you being in Stillwater, which is from the second one and the first one. But the first one is on the Xbox, or Xbox 360 or something like that. It involves you being in, this one involves you being in Stillwater and everything else. But you got like more money and everything else in this game. But you can still customize your character any way you want. Saints Row 4 involves you becoming president of the world. And aliens happen. And I think these are codes that work. That we have them in here. Yeah, this is a lot of codes, so I'll just let you look at them if you want to use them. Except the one I marked out. And those all should work if you can get them. Saints Row Get Out of Hell involves you being Gat, and I forgot the girl's name, going to hell to save a person that was took there, and you got to fight the devil. But this is like one of the worst ones because I actually went through here, did like a speed run, and finished it in like 5-6 hours to fight the devil to see if there was any other endings. Skylanders Trap Team. I haven't got to play this game yet because I can't ever find the portal for it. Everywhere where I ask at it basically would tell me no, they don't. But I could find the characters and stuff like that for nothing. Sleeping Dogs is just a Grand Theft Auto in a way. And Chinatown or something like that in a way. Or China, I think that's what it is. But the fun thing about this game, you can actually put people in the back of your vehicles and drive around with them. Soul Calibur 4. This one, each of the characters has got their own little story in a way, and a cutscene at the end, which I've almost had them all. But this one, you get to play as Darth Vader, and they say you get to play as Yoda, but I don't know how to get that, and if it's to complete through the this like challenge thing, I can never do it. Sports Champions. It's just a sports game for the motion that they had and everything to show about it, but it's still little flaws here and there because my character keeps breaking his arm when I try to shoot an arrow. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is a different looking case because I've never seen a blue one before except on the PlayStation 4. But in this game, you play as Spider-Man and you can actually go around the city and everything else like that. But it's like really easy to do and everything else. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion and the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Legendary Edition. Oblivion, which I don't know much about, but you get out of jail and everything else like that because you follow the king and the king ends up dying and everybody blames you for killing the king. The Elder Scrolls 5 involves you going to an execution for no reason and everything else like that, and then you get out and it's like a mass open world game where you can run around, kill dragons and everything else. The Evil Within is a scary game, survival horror. I guess what you would say it was a scary horror survival game, and it's do got some decent jump scares in it, like the face in the painting. I don't like that one. That one scared me so bad. But the worst thing about it, I was all alone when I was playing it, and it scares you. You need to get that game if you have a PS3. You Draw Studio Instant Art with the pad, because I came across it one day at the flea market for like $3 to $5 or something like that. And I was like, well, I can't pass that up because it's something I can get for the PS3. But it's just like the painting and coloring and drawing and all that stuff. Uncharted Drake's Drake's Fortune, which is the one that came with the PS3. Which it's not for the one I got. Mine I bought it at the flea market. This one I bought at the flea market. Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, and Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. Uncharted involves Drake becoming what he's wanting to be, a hunter for, treasure and stuff like that. Uncharted 2 involves youth trying to find the fountain of youth in a way, and the guy's trying to stop you from doing that because he's evil and he wants it for himself. Uncharted 3 involves him going after Drake's treasure after he finds out that there is a treasure, because the original Nathan Drake's or something like that was told the Queen that it was nothing there. Virtua Fighters 5 is a fighting game which you play as characters and all I know, but you can actually customize your own character in a way. Like this old man, like right back here in the back, you can actually customize him to look like Master Roshi, and that's what I liked about it. Watch Dogs 2 is basically like Grand Theft Auto, except you go around hacking people's phones and stuff like that, and everything else. This is a fun game, and I would like to play Watch Dogs 2 if I could ever get a PS4 and get it. White Knight Chronicles International Edition, which you're playing as a kid that you go to like a carnival-like place, and these people attack and take like the princess in it or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got to try to save her back. But the thing about it, the hitting is like really difficult, because if you stand like 100 feet away from them and they swing like 100 feet that way, they will hit you all the way over there for no reason. In our last game, WWE 2K17, which involves a big roster of characters from the WWE franchise, basically from the ones from the 2017, but they don't have the online features anymore, so you can't play online anymore, and that's what I don't like. Well, it's all the PS3 games, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications for future videos and everything like that. And I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys like it, so bye.